Our daughter Danae has cerebral palsy and epilepsy. She doesn't take food by mouth, so she takes it all through a G-tube. One of the things that's in a lot of her blends is beef liver. Miriam was like, well, the best beef liver for in the blends is to get it from someone who's doing grass finished. She bought beef liver from another ranch, so then it's like, wow, we can't feed her our own stuff. That doesn't make sense. Peter and Emma, my father-in-law and mother-in-law, they've been farming here for 44 years. I've been farming since I was a little guy. When I went to college and got my environmental chemistry degree, then a lot of my buddies and stuff were going into consulting, and by the end I was like, I really just want to go back to farming.
$200 a piece compared to
oh my goodness,
800.
But that's where it would have been leaking diesel into the oil then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
I've always had a passion all my life to raise food for people, and I always had an interest in raising food that was good for people. It's just incredible for me to be able to farm and then have the next generation come with new ideas. Craig was the real push behind a lot of this regenerative ideas.
My way of looking at things and coming at things is through wonder and invention. So I'm always asking questions. Why is this happening? What should we try? How do we make it better? Coming up with new ideas.
It's quite different than what I was doing before, but I could see the logic behind it and how it just improves the soil, the plants, the livestock, and making so much more tasty and healthy, nutrient-dense food.
When we're looking at the system, there's a lot of different components to it. It's very diverse and it's always changing. We've got to look at the soil, then when we look at the plant, then when we get into the animals. These are the sample bags. We just took a bit of a soil sample and then some sap samples. Looking at these tests is a way for us to get feedback from the plants, from the animals, and then we can interact with that plant in a way that helps it have a better existence and ultimately helps our animals and the people that are eating the food too. When we're doing a sap test in the season, we're seeing whether what we're doing is working or not, and we can adjust. This sap sample looks really good. Our old leaf's higher than the new leaf. They're both in target or high, and so that means that our calcium is functioning well on this test.
It's looking good.
Yeah.
Regenerative works.
Yeah, regenerative works. Thank you for the sunshine. Thank you for school, the kids. My wife's Miriam. We have two kids, Danae and Clancy. Because of her condition, we had the full opportunity to feed her what would be best for her. Then it was kind of the discussion between me and Miriam, well, what is the best thing to feed her? So then I started on the journey of figuring out, is grass finished actually better? What is the best for Danae and I guess for our whole family as well? We stumbled on the research of Dr. Van Vliet, talking about how the diversity in the species of plants that the animals eat is contributing to the nutrient density of those animals. So that's what led us to be like, okay, if this is what's best for our daughter, this is what's best for the rest of us, we're gonna start raising grass finished, but on a variety of species.
We have found that when you seed a monoculture, the soil just doesn't work like it's supposed to. With the regenerative process, we found that the more different kinds of plants you can have, they work together and they seem to produce much more forage as well as higher quality. The main one we've got here is oats. There's a little bit of chicory, which is good for the animals' stomachs. It's a natural dewormer, so we don't have to use wormers to do that. There's some turnips in here to open up the soil. The cattle also like to eat that. There's some forage brassica, just an incredible diversity. When you have cattle to feed, it's easiest to jump into regenerative agriculture with both feet. You have a use for polycultures as animal feed. It improves the growth of the plants, which improves more feed for the cattle, but it's also higher quality feed, which makes for a healthier animal, which makes for healthier food, which makes for healthier people when they eat it.
We're a part of this natural system, and our end goal is always to maximize human and environmental health.
I have great hopes that the industry will shift toward this. I realize it is a slow process. This regenerative way of farming works everywhere.
We're really excited about the food that we're producing and that we're providing for people. Our daughter, we feed her all our own beef and we eat it all ourselves, and we really enjoy it, and we see the benefits to us, and we see the benefits to people that are buying our beef, and we see the benefits to the environment.
It's just exciting to be part of a new, which is actually a very old way of farming.